And we're live. Welcome to the Ubuntu Community Q&A. My name is Daniel Holbach, and today I'm joined by
David Callé, who is here from the community team as well, and ready to answer your questions.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm sitting in Berlin today, and it's hot, hot, hot. What's it like in France?
Yes, it's the same in Paris. It's like 32 degrees here, so yeah.
Not bad.
Sunny and hot.
All right. Yeah, I see a bunch of people joined IRC already, which is great. So if you're watching this through ubuntuonair.com, there's the video feed, and below that is a chat window where you just enter your favorite nickname, hit the connect button, and then you can talk to us and ask all the questions you might have. Just make sure you prefix your question with question in capital letters so we can more easily pick up the questions. Also, Jose, who's been running the site ubuntuonair.com, he always wants us to make sure that you circle, friend, and subscribe whatever Ubuntu on Air account you can find. That way, you find out more about upcoming shows and whatnot, and you can watch all the old ones. Cool. Yeah, we have a bunch of questions already, which is great. We just quickly wanted to go through a couple of things that happened in the past weeks. Oh no! David, this is your first time on the Q&A.
It's my first one.
What does it feel like?
I'm a bit stressed, but I guess I'm just going to let you speak.
Don't worry. It's all right. As some folks might not know you yet, what have you been working on in the last time? Why should people get in touch with you? Like, what's your interest?
Yes, my main area of focus for the couple of last months has been developer.ubuntu.com. So both in terms of content and general development of the website. Mm-hmm. As you know it, because you are working on it with me.
That's right.
And yep, that's pretty much it. I'm working on guides and tutorials. There's been a lot of work around Snappy and how we present Snappy documentation, and a lot of exciting stuff is going to land very soon, hopefully.
Yes.
And yeah, basically, if you have issues with developer.ubuntu.com and related services, just ping me and we'll try to find a way to help you. If you need the specific content, if you think that the current documentation is not good enough, if you have issues with it, with tutorials, with guides, just ping me on IRC or on Google+, and I do my best.
Brilliant. Yeah, as you can see, David is very modest. He's been around for ages, and he's been involved with basically everything that had to do with creating external, or I don't know, I was just trying to phrase it somehow, with apps, with scopes before they were called scopes. Basically, he wrote loads and loads of code that ended up in Ubuntu or around Ubuntu.
Yes.
That was always your primary interest in Ubuntu, right? Or was it something else?
I've started with like doing serious development. It was with lenses, so it's the ancestor of scopes. And I've done a lot of lenses, then they changed to scopes. I changed as well. Maybe you remember the 100 scopes project. That was my doing, and a few other people as well. And then I've worked on remote scopes. So if you have a Ubuntu phone, there are some scopes like EU Finance, Open Library, and scopes like that. That for some reason you can't uninstall, and you are very angry about this. It's a bit of my fault because these scopes are running on a remote server, so they're not on your phone, and you can't really install them. But if you are angry about this, file a bug, and we'll try to find a solution.
Cool.
And then I moved on to the community team, the fantastic community team.
Yeah, we're very, very happy to have you. Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
So a few things I wanted to quickly mention. First of all, like we always want to have interesting content here, so that's why we answer all your questions. But we also want to get people on the show who we can interview and ask them more specific questions about a certain topic, let's say the kernel or security or I don't know, but maybe the sales team. I don't know. Whoever you would like us to interview, be it Mark, Jane, like we can also try to get them on the show. If you could let us know, I just wrote a blog entry earlier. I posted something on Google Plus, or let us know on IRC, and we're going to take notes and try to get them on the show. That's going to give it a bit more variety. Also, last weekend we had the Ubuntu Global Jam. That's an event where teams around the world, local Ubuntu teams, get together and they just try to make Ubuntu better by whatever means they're basically interested in. So if it's, no matter if it's translations or helping with the documentation or fixing bugs or answering questions or writing apps or playing around with Snappy, everything goes. And we had a number of teams around the world come together. And one of them was met in Peru. And in Peru, over the same weekend, there was UbuCon LA, so Latin American UbuCon. Do you know how many people ended up at the UbuCon?
Oh, that's actually what I'm looking for.
Right. Okay. So yeah, the Peruvian teams organized this, but also other Latin American teams helped out with organizing it, with running sessions, with getting people to Lima. It happened in Lima, and they also streamed a lot of the sessions on Ubuntu on Air. So if you go back, if you speak Spanish, and if you want to go back to the YouTube account, you're going to find the sessions there. They're really like UbuCons. A few weeks back, we also invited a number of UbuCon organizers here who talked to us about how they organized their UbuCon in Germany. Like one of the next ones is going to be in Germany in October. And they probably plan to have like 200, 250 people there. I saw that Sujivan Svish is on IRC. He's probably going to correct me about the number of attendees. And they also opened the call for papers and the registration. So if you want to be there, give a talk, give a session, get involved, you can do it on ubucon.de. We also have a big number of competitions going on at the same time. I usually don't prepare myself for these sessions a lot, but I just looked at the Ubuntu Facebook page, and there were loads and loads and loads of crazy posts about crazy stuff in the last weeks. One competition is all about sci-fi. So we're basically trying to bring the best of two worlds together, Ubuntu and sci-fi. And there's turntablist, a really good DJ called DJ Yoda, who's going to look at all the submissions. And basically, what you have to do is to create a GIF file, animated GIF, having to do with sci-fi somehow, and submit it to the for the competition. That's still going on for a couple of days. There was also one about creating a video about scopes. So if you're interested in or if you know something about the Ubuntu phone and the scopes on there, and if you really enjoy it and want to demonstrate how great it is, just create a short film, and that's also still going on for a couple of weeks even. And then there's the Ubu contest. Have you heard about this as well?
Yeah, I've been following this on the Telegram Ubuntu user group, and it sounds very cool. Apparently, there are quite a few entries, and I'm really looking forward to what's going to come out of that. I know there are like several categories. There are category for teams, one for technical achievement or something like that. So it's really nice to have a whole range of prizes and opportunities.
Yeah, that's right. And it's also still going on until sometime in October, I think. So you still have loads of time. It's basically for, it depends which hemisphere you live in. It's also coinciding with either your summer or winter break. So you still have loads of time to get your submissions in. No matter if it's apps or scopes, just submit it there, and you might even have a chance to win a ticket to the UbuCon DE for you and your team.
I've just found the list of categories. There is a really nice one, which is Convergence Hero. It's the best team entry or individual entry, making use of convergence features. So I'm really looking to what we're going to have in this category. I expect maybe messaging clients. I could see maybe an RSS reader where you would have, when it's in phone view, just the list of news. When in desktop view, list of news on one side and news on the other side. I don't know. Just really excited about this.
And I stand corrected. It wasn't just, you don't have time until October, but still until the 18th of, just making sure, 18th of September. Still, most of the summer break or winter break should be in there. Cool. Did we have anything else we still wanted to mention?
I think that's it. I did took some notes, and no.
Cool. Yeah, if not, we're going to get back to news and other announcements later on. Oh yeah, there's one thing I wanted to mention about the Ubu contest. Helped a little bit with the organization. So for some reason now I get some of the emails about it. And there were a couple of folks who are underage, so under 18. It's really nice because they have to send an email that their parents read over the terms of entry and that they're fine with it and everything. It's just really nice to read from parents. They say, yeah, it's great. Our son wants to do this, our daughter wants to do this, and they agree and send a quick note. So it's really, yeah, it's heartwarming to see that a lot of young folks want to get involved. So all the best from my end.
Sounds great.
Yeah. All right. Loads and loads of questions. And he was a quick comment I really enjoyed at the beginning of the show, like somebody from ISC mentioned, was Shenki, who said, actually, I'm eager for Ubuntu Phone and I really love the efforts of developers. They are the real heroes. All I want is Ubuntu Phone arriving in India soon. And Srish Sujivan said it'll be ready in 2 weeks in India. So all the Indians out there, just 2 more weeks, and we're going to get an Ubuntu Phone there. Okay. The first question from Dragonbite. One Ubuntu phone is supposed to be getting shipped worldwide, including the USA question mark, but has limited bandwidth to choose from. How is this going to play out in USA with the effective duopoly of carriers AT&T and Verizon? Do you have an answer for this one?
So I don't know about things like specific bandwidth and but I know that the BQ phone won't use like the fastest network available. It will be a bit limited in the US. I mean, let me see. I might have something.
So what I remember is that, and that was also one of the announcements we forgot. BQ is now shipping to loads and loads and loads and loads of countries around the world. If you go to their website, you're going to find it there in the beginning. The Aquarius E5.4.5 and the E5 HD were only available in parts of Europe, but now they expanded the scheme to I don't know how many countries, loads and loads and loads of them. So you should be able to order and get a phone there, but as David said, it's not going to use, I don't know what it is, 4G or whatever, like because of frequencies and stuff. I never quite understood like what the problem was, but you're not going to get the fastest in the US. Did you find any more details?
Yes. So about US, about the BQ Ubuntu phone in the US, you need to make sure that your carrier supports 900 and 2100 megahertz HSPA plus, which will be compatible with the device.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. If by any chance you have, Daniel, you found more detail on this, we'll probably publish maybe a post on Google Plus on that, just to keep people informed if they...
Yeah. I think Michael answered this question a couple of times already, but I just can't remember the specifics.
Oh, right.
Because I'm not in the US, I probably didn't pay as much attention. Okay. Another question from Dragonbite. Is the Ubuntu phone still on track for full convergence, one that will hook up into the keyboard, video, and mouse? You also mentioned KVM. Not quite sure what KVM is supposed to mean in this context. But David, do you know what's happening?
I'm looking for the question. Yes, found it just to have the text in front of me. I think yes, it's clearly still on track. There have been quite a lot of demos and screenshots in the last few weeks about people hooking up their mouse directly to their phone. And right now we have a working desktop environment. It's still has some rough edges, but you can work with it. And I don't know the exact timeline, but we should see a lot of improvements in these areas in the next month or so.
Yeah. I think the reference device people were using was the MX4. I still don't know what a slim port is, but somehow you can attach the mouse to it somehow. No idea. So yeah. And if you ask on the Ubuntu phone mailing list or the Ubuntu Touch IRC channel, you should be able to hook up with people if you have an MX4 and want to play around with it as well. It's like magic. Plugging in the mouse, everything turns into windowed mode, and you can play around with it. It's just brilliant. Cool. Moving on. Aquarius asks, if I buy David an ice cream, will I get the Content Hub documentation sooner?
Yes, you will.
So the question is going to be how you can FedEx the ice cream to where in Paris? Somewhere.
Yeah, well, Aquarius is from UK, so it shouldn't be a long drive.
Yeah, do you know anything about a Content Hub and documentation?
Yes, there is Content Hub tutorials being worked on for quite some time now, and which should be published really soon. Hopefully end of this week or beginning of the next one. So it should help you to hook up the content hub in your app and be able to import, export documents, music, videos. There is even now all content type, so you will be able to import every type of document in your app. Document or files, sorry.
Cool. We have a question from VT Meaty. When is Ubuntu Personal expected to come out? This is something we talked about, I think it was last week or the week before, with Olli Ries. And he posted a blog entry on his blog. I'm going to share the link in the IRC channel. Was the wrong link. Here's the right one. Basically, it's Olli Ries, olli-ries.com. If you go to this page, you're going to get a link to the entry. And on there, there's, unfortunately, I can't share my screen right now for some reason, but there's a diagram of the convergence roadmap. And it's showing that Ubuntu Personal is now being worked on. So Ubuntu Personal is the snap-based common code base we're going to use. So basically, you can have a desktop with access to the Snap Store and so on, and it will be managed using Snappy. It's been worked on right now, and sometime after 1604, so the next LTS, it should be available as an option. It's not going to replace everything, and we're not going to throw away the deb based distribution. That's, for some reason, it seems to be one of the worries of a lot of people, and I read this on a lot of articles a lot. Also, there was some talk about the Ubuntu Software Center and that debs were replaced and it would all be thrown away. That's not going to happen. It's not, because the Debian package format we use, it's just brilliant for building a distribution. It's really good at what it does, and we're not going to replace it. Period. Okay. With that said, I think we answered the question. You spot another question.
Yes, I'm looking for the next one.
Aha, I found one.
Yes.
Ubuntu user asked, what is Canonical's plan to monetize Ubuntu for the desktop? It's a really nice question.
Interesting one, yes.
Yeah, do you have a couple of points how Canonical makes money from the desktop?
Well, Canonical provides quite a lot of support for companies deploying Ubuntu internally. One famous example is Google, which have their own Ubuntu spin, which is called Ubuntu. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, that Canonical provide support directly to Google for that.
Yeah.
For example, in France, there is the French gendarmerie, which is a police force which uses Ubuntu extensively. And yeah, there are quite a lot of big organization companies that need support, that need commercial support.
Yeah, it's support, it's training, it's maintenance. And I think that was also the first thing where Canonical got involved. And it's interesting because like most of us who just use Ubuntu on their desktop wouldn't think of it that way. But if a big company, if they have like 20,000 computers all running Ubuntu, they're going to buy like 20,000 support contracts, which is a bit weird, but that's what they do. That's a good source of income, and it's really nice that Ubuntu stays free, but all the additional services are paid for. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, Canonical does a lot of custom engineering. So, for example, if you want all the hardware companies, like a lot of them ship laptops with Ubuntu pre-installed. In those cases, Canonical is going to guarantee that Ubuntu is going to run well on that version of a laptop.
Yes, there is a whole certification process, which is very extensive. It's I don't remember exactly where it's documented, but it's a very in-depth certification process for everything from keyboard to drivers and to a lot of things. So that's quite interesting to look into.
And yeah, there were other things Canonical tried. For example, there was like Ubuntu One File Sync, which was an online service, and also what was it called again? Ubuntu One Music.
Yes.
There were a lot of, or there were some things we Canonical tried out as an additional service that might bring value to customers, but there were others who did file sync and music a lot better than we did. So there's also something we could have announced, like the file sync server was open sourced yesterday, which is great. Like, kudos to Martin Alvisetti and team. It was long asked for.
Basically, now you can deploy an Ubuntu One server, which is now called a file. It has been renamed to a file sync server, and there is documentation for a server and client. You could just have like a command line client or a full-blown app, which is pretty much the same app as what was available on the desktop when Ubuntu One was actually running. So yeah, Actually, I'd love to spin my own file sync server and see. I know it works well because I love Ubuntu One, and I'm really interested in doing it.
Cool. Yeah, and there are a few other things where Canonical also makes money from the desktop. There were some things around affiliation, so that some services were services of other companies were exposed to Ubuntu users. And I could imagine that the sales team and others working more in the business part of the company would slap me right now, but that's all I remember. There might be other ways where Canonical actually makes money, but as you can see, David and I work more on the hippie end of the spectrum of the company. So,
Right.
no, so, yeah, there's probably other ways. I don't know.
Well, there have been marginal attempts, like in, for example, when we used to have like Amazon in the dash.
Right.
When you followed an Amazon link from the dash, there was an affiliation to Canonical, and if you happen to buy something, there would be like a small portion
Right.
with Canonical. It's pretty much going away. It was more on the experimental side to see if there could be monetization of the dash itself, but it's not really the direction of the dash now.
Yeah.
Now it's more about individual services aggregated together and just provide a great experience in terms of data you can access.
Yeah. And I think it was fair enough to try it out. I know that a lot of people were unhappy about it, but the idea that you have search built into your desktop, and you don't have to open a browser, go to this page, that page, and then compare the prices and everything, or find out how the weather is, or do whatever you like, but just have it on your desktop and you just type something and it gets results back for you. I think it's still brilliant. And having that on the phone and on the desktop, basically the same scopes, doing the same stuff is still great. Right. Question. Shenki asked, when will be able to see Meizu MX4 Ubuntu in India? So there's, as Srish mentioned earlier, the India launch is expected to be in 2 weeks. I think that was sort of answered already.
Yes,
that
in 2
when we
weeks,
get
yes.
Ubuntu goodness. Right.
And are you sure it's Meizu launching in India?
Sorry, what's that?
The question was about the Meizu being launched in India.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure which one was going to be launched in India.
Okay, I don't know either.
Few seconds, I'm just checking the global side of EQ. Shipping info. Okay. Yeah, India is not on the list right now. That might be in 2 weeks then. I'm going to leave all the phone announcements to somebody else. Sorry, I don't know. Moving on. Red Julia asks, with the way Ubuntu Snappy separates system and applications, is something like tripwire still important for file system integrity? I haven't played around with tripwire yet. But Snappy and the way the phone works right now, where we have click and system image updates, in there you should be relatively certain that the system hasn't been tampered with. Like already on the what's it called again? There's a tool for Debian already, or Ubuntu, where you can basically make sure that everything that is shipped in and /user and etc and elsewhere, where it checks if the hashes still match what was delivered. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. What Tripwire does for you additionally, I don't know. But the good thing is that whatever app you try to install on the phone or in Snappy, if you get it through the store, it shouldn't be able to modify anything on the system. It should be just active within its confinement. That's what I would say. But let us know if we missed anything regarding Tripwire, and maybe we should invite the security guys to one of the sessions, so you can bring all the security questions you have. Next question.
Next question. Why was there no welcome video by Mark Shuttleworth for UbuCon LA this month like usual?
Good question.
I have no idea.
I don't know if people reached out to him. Maybe I could imagine that he was a bit busy.
That would be my guess as well.
Yeah, I know, for example, that in the past few weeks, he didn't have as much time to sign the Ubuntu membership certificates, but at some stage he started again, and he did like huge amounts of them. And we saw lots of posts on Google Plus where people said, "I finally received it," and they all received them within a week. So that was really nice to see. Yeah, don't know. Maybe ask him directly.
Yeah, that would actually be the best course of action.
Yeah. A query is asked, if I only need to supply an ice cream to get the content documentation, what do I need to buy to get scopes in JavaScript officially supported?
Oh, I guess that's a question for me. So I've been following quite closely the JavaScript scopes project. Right now, the status of the project, I've checked actually this morning with the team in charge of it. You can install JavaScript scopes on your phone. There is a PPA for that. And there is even a click package for a demo scope. You can try and maybe change if you want, then repackage it and load on your phone. In terms of official support, the project is still young, and I'm pretty sure it will be soon. By official support, it would mean that all the infrastructure for running JavaScript scopes is installed by default on phones, and hopefully it will be soon enough. Cool. I don't have a specific ETA.
noise. Okay, we have a question from Divyesh. Will Ubuntu Touch OS be available to install on non-Ubuntu smartphones like Android and Windows? Yeah, the answer for that is we have a porting guide on developer.ubuntu.com, which explains how to basically port Ubuntu Touch for other devices. It has been done, and a couple of ports are listed on wiki.ubuntu.com/touch. But somebody here who helped write the documentation. What do people need to do, or how hard is it, or what is involved? Like, can I take an iPhone and put Ubuntu on it? How does it work?
No, well, you probably can't do that. It can be fairly easy to fairly difficult. It really depends on the phone itself. For example, if you have some experience in doing like cyanogen mods ports, it should be fairly easy. There are some ports that are working really well, like the Nexus 5 port, which is a really nice one, and which happen to be quite a lot of work because the device is very different from the Nexus 4, for example, which was the first phone officially supported by Ubuntu. And so, yeah, it will really depend on the device. If you want to get started with a port, I would advise you to read the porting documentation and to there is a new community starting around Ubuntu ports. They're called, I think it's uports. Daniel, do you know what's the name of the website for that?
No, right now.
Oh, well, that's a shame. I can find the website. But basically, it's a forum dedicated to Ubuntu porting. And you can ask questions there.
Yeah.
And
But you can also...
I will find the website before the end of the Q&A.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, you can ask all the questions either on the Ubuntu phone mailing list or the Ubuntu Touch IRC channel. Basically, all the people who are involved in importing they're there. Okay. Also, Svish just let us know on IRC that that it's BQ launching in India, not Maizu yet. That's information from our local expert. So that's launching in 2 weeks. There was a question from Bobby Pops. Why do I have to keep moving the dialog window down to the most current message on the Ubuntu on Air chat window? Surely it should just keep up to date instead of me just moving the scroll bar every so often. Annoying. I think you can file a bug on the Ubuntu on Air Launchpad account. It's something we should fix, and if anyone's interested in helping with that, I'm sure Jose knows where things need to be tweaked. Sounds fair enough. But what you can also do is just open your IRC client, whichever one you're using, and point it to Ubuntu -on-air on Freenode, which should basically do the same thing. Next question is from VTMiti. Will the Snappy packages allow developers to upgrade just determined parts of the package, like say just the library or the executable when needed, or will the user have to download the whole package again? That's a really interesting question. Ubuntu Core is basically just a very, very minimal Ubuntu. So you can't really rely on, like if you need special libraries for your app or modules or whatever it might be, you need to ship them in the package yourself. And a really good way of doing this is Snapcraft. Snapcraft is still in the works, and they're still working very hard on making their 0.1 release, but it's going to be what we recommend to app developers. No matter if you're using Python, Java, Node, or whatever else, it's going to support all of them because it has a really nice plugin architecture. What it allows you to do is to just write very concise recipes, basically to get your snap built. So you have the first step is a pulled step where you just define where you get the source from or where you get other component, other parts from, and then the package is built. So that's going to be a really good way of whenever you need to do an update to fix a bug or if some library changed or whatnot, to just upload update the package. On the part of where users get the updated package from and how much they need to download, there's still some discussions going on. For example, Michael Vogt, MBO, he had the idea of decoupling. So basically, there would be hashes where you could specify, or where we would see, okay, this library has this hash. It was already downloaded before, so we don't need to download it again. So there were some ideas like that kicking around, but that's not implemented yet. Okay, it seems like we skipped the question from Aquarius.
So question, there was recently a chap who was very unhappy that his published for sale apps in Ubuntu Software Center were not made available for 14.10 and 15.4 releases, and that his emails asking about this were ignored for months. He's not the first to complain about this. We have been told that Click or no Snappy will be the solution here, but Snappy isn't ready yet, and the database Ubuntu Software Center will be in 16.4 and supported for 5 years. If someone wants to sell software on Ubuntu Desktop, what should they do until Snappy is ready some years from now?
That's right. Yeah, we missed this question. What we saw in the past months and years, basically, was that it's very hard to guarantee that software shipped as dev packages, that they need extra care and special attention. Like we need to do a lot of review, and that was basically one of the big blockers. Basically, if you install a dev package from somewhere, if you don't know where it's from, it basically, during the step where it installs stuff, it has root. Like it can do whatever it likes, and that was one of the blockers with the depth-based approach, where we didn't where people didn't just work on Ubuntu by sending in patches, where we also do code review, but where they just sent in their packages and wanted to get them included in Ubuntu. That was the reason why the queue, even with some parts automated with special review tools and everything, the queue just built up like crazy, and it was very expensive to keep that up and running. And with priorities changing and implementing a new scheme like the store for the phone and for Snappy, it just went a bit on the back burner, and that's why this long queue built up. I can't quite remember what happened in the. Do you still know the discussion on Google Plus? Like, I remember that somebody complained, and I remember that Martin and others jumped in. Does somebody still have a link to that?
I probably have a link to this discussion.
So basically, it's going to be very hard to get your. No. Hang on. There's still a couple of traditional. While we search for the information, we still have a number of ways how you can get your software included in Ubuntu. One of them is if you get it through a regular review and get it included regularly in the Ubuntu archive. You can do that through Debian. You can get it uploaded in Debian, which is going to have the advantage that you have it in Debian and Ubuntu. But that's only for open source apps, or it's not for paid for apps. You can also get in touch with people like, I don't know, the desktop team, the Ubuntu GNOME team, and others who work around the desktop, and ask them for help getting your app uploaded to Ubuntu. But again, that's not closed source, and it's not paid for apps. Paid for apps is hard right now. We don't have a really good answer for this.
Well, there is a model that have been used for quite some years now, which is publishing the deb package on your website and selling it.
Yeah, but for example, also what Spotify and I think Skype do it as well. The Google Hangouts plugin, they also do it like that. I would be super happy if we had a better answer, but knowing that the Snap Store and the Click Store are basically just around the corner for the desktop, it's very, very hard to justify still going through loads and loads of submissions. That's the answer I have for you. Okay. Bobby Pops asked, why would the presenters work or give on bounties, i.e. hashed bounty source? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Me neither.
Presenters, does that mean us? Would we work on bounties? I don't know. Why would people work on bounties? I still remember that Launchpad in the very early days had a bounty system where you could say, I want this app to do this, and you had some backers who backed a certain bounty and spent some money on it. And I think I backed one of the bounties there, but I never got involved with working on a feature or something. Okay, we have some clarification from Aquarius about this question about the software center. He said the Google Plus discussion is at link, but that's just an example, not the thing I'm asking about. My question is, what do I do if I want to sell software on Ubuntu Desktop? If the answer is Ubuntu does not help you at the moment, cool. So the best approach at the moment is to do third-party distribution, sell through itch.io or the Humble Store or similar. That's fine. Thank you, Daniel, for the answer. Yes. At least if I didn't miss anything, I think that's the answer right now. Okay, Bobby Pops, maybe if you could clarify your question, we're happy to answer it as well.
Question from Shanky. Recently, Microsoft has launched a presentation app called Sway, which has almost killed PowerPoint, which is a good thing. Will Linux developers bring out an alternative for the same on Linux? I would really love to see a much better alternative to Sway. I've never used Sway myself. I love that if we had a great presentation app. I know there are very cool presentation frameworks where you which generates like an HTML5 presentation based on very simple syntax, and you can really do very cool animation, zooms, and all. For example, all your slides on a single large page, and you can zoom in and zoom out. It's quite cool. So, if we are talking about this kind of presentation systems, then yes, we already have them on Linux. If we are talking about a simple app to do that, no, we don't. And I love to have that.
Do you still remember, like what you just mentioned, do you still remember the page or the name of it?
No, there are a few of them.
Yeah. Okay. I still remember one Ubuntu member and former Canonical employee. He used to work, like Sylvester Farkas. He used to work in one of those companies, but I can't remember the name of the company who did that. But I recently saw that there was an Inkscape plugin for creating presentations like this.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, if I remember the name, I'm going to let you know. But somebody used it for a presentation recently, and it was really nice. Basically, like a gigantic SVG, and it zoomed in and zoomed out of the thing. It was brilliant. And I think that's it. I think that's all the question we got up until now. If you want to, if you still have last-minute question, get it in. If not, David and I are going to run to the next call. Thanks a lot for all the questions. We hope we answered all of them and didn't leave any of them out.
Yes.
And thanks a lot, everyone, answering some of the questions on IRC already and giving us more feedback.
Well, thanks a lot. It was fun for my first time. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it won't be my only time.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, in the next weeks we're probably going to have Nick Skaggs or Alan Pope or David Planella. We're going to see some of the other guys. And yeah, let us know if you have any suggestions who we should invite for one of the next times. All right, see you around.
See you guys.